True Stories of the Unknown. Today's tale, number 11, is called The Guardian. Here's the story as I received it, told in first person. My sister was a few years older than me, and she had her license and a car. Not having either and being much younger, when she would invite me over to her place for a weekend, I would happily go with. It was a Friday, and after getting a call from my sister, I prepared a few things to stay the weekend at her place. She lived roughly an hour away, and soon enough she had arrived at our parents' house. She greeted our parents, and I put my things into her car. We both said our goodbyes and set off towards her place. We always traveled this route and knew it well. We drove out of our small town and into a small city. A few quick turns and a couple of miles and we were back into the small towns and villages that surrounded the area's small metro area. We turned onto the last stretch of road before her house. It was long, and as you went further, you left the vestiges of the small surrounding towns. The houses became sporadic, and large open fields of the local farmers came into view. We cruised down the road and enjoyed the nice weather, windows open and the radio played. We exchanged small talk about our past week. Speed limit is 50, and there's rarely much traffic. When using this road day or night, it's not uncommon to be the only car on it. Suddenly, a pickup truck from one of the farms was directly in front of us. The driver was going about 20 because it was fully loaded with hay bales. Towering past the top of the truck, it was overloaded and stacked 5 bales high. We slowed way down and the truck's driver noticed us behind him in his large truck mirrors. Mostly pretty straight, the road had long straight expanses. There were several winding and twisting parts where you couldn't see around the corners up ahead. The truck slowed down even more, down to about 15 miles an hour. Of course we get stuck behind this guy, my sister said. I know, I replied. You'd think he would have pulled over and let us pass. Just as I finished saying the words, the truck driver put his arm out the window and started motioning for us to pass. It was a long, sweeping right turn, and we couldn't see ahead. Thinking the truck driver must be able to see ahead and that it was clear, he continued to motion for us to pass. My sister pulled into the left lane and stepped on it. The car sped up to about 70, and we started to pass the overloaded farm truck. The pickup truck sped up as we attempted to pass, and my sister gave it more gas. The car got up close to 80, and we were almost clear of the pickup truck. Just before we had enough room to pull back into the right lane of a long, sweeping turn, both our jaws dropped, and we both gasped at the sight. Barreling down the road and straight in front of us was a fully loaded semi-truck. There was no time to turn or even think. We both braced for impact and truly thought it was all over. We were going close to 80, and the semi was doing at least 50, if not more. I closed my eyes instinctively and held my breath, thinking for sure we were about to die. Everything went white, like the brightest white I've ever seen. Suddenly, opening my eyes, I looked at my sister holding the steering wheel and breathing heavy. We were both alive, and still in the untouched car, pulled over and a few hundred yards up the road. I looked in the mirror and saw the semi speed by the pickup truck. Holy shit, my sister said. What the fuck happened? I asked, knowing we shouldn't even be alive. I don't know, she replied. We couldn't explain how it happened. We both knew we shouldn't be alive right now. It didn't make any sense. The guy motioning for us to pass, and then sped up as we did. forcing us to go faster and further limiting our reaction times. By the time we noticed the truck, it was too late. I remember bracing for impact, for certain death, and then all of a sudden, we were quite a distance up the road and pulled over with the car off. We couldn't believe the guy in the truck motioned for us to pass and then sped up. But more than that, we both clearly remember the semi being right in front of us and there being no time to react. The next thing we knew, we were pulled over and off the road, safe and alive. It was so strange, and we know we should have been smashed to pieces. I've always wished I could have spoken with the semi-driver and asked what they saw. Neither of us had any answers, only that we shouldn't be alive to tell the tale. And yet, there we were, left scratching our heads on the side of the road. Alive, but shaken and mystified as to how, what, and why. Imagine facing down certain death, only to find yourself alive and bewildered. Now this one's a tricky story. I'm not really sure what happened, but I'd like to think it was a guardian angel. Possibly some sort of shift in the realm or a glitch in the matrix. I'm not really sure. All I know is that we shouldn't be alive. Well, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed today's true tales of terror. And while brief, it's still quite the story. Take care. We'll see you next time.